Okay, imagine this. Life throws you a curveball. Maybe it's a big medical bill, totally unexpected.
Hmm.
Or, maybe a chance to finally buy that dream house pops up. Or honestly, maybe you just need some cash fast.
Happens all the time.
And that thought creeps in, doesn't it? Maybe I could just dip into my retirement savings.
Such a natural thought when you're under pressure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And well, that brings us right to today's deep dive. We're going to take a really close look at the rules, the often pretty steep penalties,
Right?
and also, surprisingly, some exceptions when it comes to taking money out early from a Gold IRA.
And that's different from a regular IRA, isn't it? Because it's physical gold.
Exactly. Instead of just stocks and bonds, you're holding actual precious metals. And that adds, well, a whole other layer of things to think about, especially if you need that money before retirement age. It gets
I'll
complicated.
bet. People probably get tripped up by that.
They do. If you don't really grasp the implications, yeah.
So to help us navigate all this, we're looking at insights directly from the Gold IRA Company's bulletin. Specifically, findings from Doug Young.
Ah, Doug Young. Yeah, he's got serious experience. Over 20 years in financial markets research.
Right.
And like 15 plus years just focused on Gold IRAs. So this is someone who really knows their stuff.
Definitely. So our goal here, our mission for you listening, is really just to equip you with the essential info. Whether you're just curious, maybe you're planning ahead, or perhaps you're facing one of those tough decisions right now.
Yeah, the aim is to help you understand the landscape, avoid those really costly mistakes, and just make choices about your Gold IRA that you feel confident about. Informed choices.
Okay, let's dive in then. Let's unpack this. What actually happens if you decide, okay, I need to pull money from my Gold IRA and you're, say, under retirement age? What's the immediate hit?
Well, the main penalties are uh, pretty clear cut, but yeah, they can definitely hurt financially. First up, there's the 10% early withdrawal penalty.
10%, just flat.
Flat fee, yep, on any amount you take out before you hit age 59 and a half. It's basically the government saying, hey, this money is meant for retirement.
They really want you to keep it there, discouraging early dips.
Exactly. They want to encourage that long-term saving, self-sufficiency later on.
Yeah. Okay, that 10% is a clear deterrent. But I wonder, do people really think about that full cost when they're in a tight spot? Or does the immediate need just overshadow it?
I think it often gets overlooked in the heat of the moment.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that 10%, that's just the beginning.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah. On top of that penalty, the money you withdraw is also treated as ordinary income,
Ah, okay.
which means you owe regular income tax on it at
Yeah.
whatever your current tax rate is.
Right.
So Doug Young's research gives a good example. Let's say you're in the 24% tax bracket. You pull out $10,000 early.
Okay.
You've got the $1,000 penalty, that's a 10%, plus another $2,400 in income tax.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's $3,400 gone right off the top of your $10,000 withdrawal.
That's a huge chunk just vanished before you even get the money.
It really is. And it's important to know these penalties, they generally apply to both traditional and Roth Gold IRAs.
Okay, so both types.
Both types get hit with that early withdrawal penalty before 59 and a half. The main difference between them is really about when you pay the tax. Traditional, you defer taxes until you take the money out in retirement.
Right.
Roth, you use money you've already paid taxes on, so qualified withdrawals later are tax-free.
Yeah.
But that early penalty applies to both.
Okay, so that covers the immediate hit. But you mentioned, well, it gets really interesting beyond that, doesn't it? It's not just about those penalties and taxes right now. There's a bigger cost, a longer-term one.
You are absolutely right. That immediate hit, it's painful, but it's only part of the picture. The deeper impact, the one people often don't fully consider, is the loss of compounding interest.
Ah, compounding, the magic of making money on your money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's incredibly powerful for building wealth over time. And taking money out early, it just sabotages that whole process. You're not just losing the cash you took out. You're losing all the future growth that money could have generated for you year after year.
So it's like a double whammy then. You lose the money now, and you lose everything it could have become later on.
Precisely.
Is that long-term view, like, especially hard to keep in mind when you've got some urgent bill staring you down right now?
Oh, incredibly difficult. Our brains aren't always wired for that long-term thinking, especially under stress. We focus on the immediate problem.
Makes sense.
And Doug's research also touches on this. If you do it once, sometimes it feels easier to justify doing it again. It can kind of become a cycle that's hard to break.
Like a bad habit for your financial future.
Kind of, yeah. Almost like financial self-sabotage driven by that immediate pressure. But wait, there's actually another cost. A sneaky one, especially with gold IRAs.
Sneaky.
Okay, what is it?
Capital gains taxes.
On top of everything else. Yep. And this is where gold gets treated differently. The IRS considers gold and other precious metals to be collectibles.
Collectibles, like art or rare coins. Why is that? Is there some specific reason gold gets lumped in there?
It's just the classification they use. And that classification, being a collectible, means if your gold has gone up in value, if you have a capital gain when you sell it or withdrawing, it gets taxed at a higher rate.
Higher than regular investments.
Much higher, potentially. So long-term capital gains on most stocks might be, say, 15% or 20%. But for collectibles, including gold from your IRA, it's a flat 28% long-term rate.
28%? Wow.
Yeah. So let's use the example from the source material again. You liquidate $10,000 worth of gold from your IRA early. Let's say $5,000 that is appreciation your gain.
Yeah.
You could owe up to $1,400 just in capital gains tax on that $5,000 gain.
And that's on top of the 10% penalty and the regular income tax.
Exactly. You stack all that up, the penalty, the income tax, and this higher capital gains tax on collectibles. It makes pulling gold out early, as Doug Young puts it, extremely costly.
Okay, wow. It really does sound like a minefield then. But are there any ways out, any lifelines, situations where you can get to your funds without facing all these penalties?
It's interesting, right? Because the rules are strict, but yes, there are specific exceptions where that 10% penalty is waived.
Okay, good to know.
But, and this is really important to remember, even if you avoid the 10% penalty, the money you take out is almost always still subject to regular income tax.
Ah, okay. So penalty-free doesn't mean tax-free, usually.
Correct, except for Roth distributions after 59.5 if the account's old enough.
Got it. Okay, so lay these exceptions on us. What's the simplest one?
The most straightforward way definitely is just waiting until you're age 59.5. That's the magic number. Once you hit that age, you can take money out of your gold IRA penalty-free.
And for a Roth IRA?
For a Roth, if you're 59.5 and the account has been open for at least 5 years, those withdrawals are completely tax-free too. That's the ideal scenario.
Okay, that's the standard retirement goal. But what about those curveballs we talked about? Real-life emergencies.
Right. So there are exceptions for significant medical costs. You can take penalty-free withdrawals for unreimbursed medical expenses.
Okay.
But only the amount that exceeds 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, your HEI.
So only for really big medical bills, relatively speaking.
Exactly. And also, if you become totally and permanently disabled, that's another situation where you can access the funds without the 10% penalty.
Important safety nets. What about records for those?
Oh, absolutely critical. For both medical expenses and disability, you need meticulous records for the IRS.
Makes sense. What about maybe a less dire situation, like buying a house?
Good question. Yes, there's an exception for that too. The IRS allows a penalty-free withdrawal of up to $10,000
$10,000.
from your IRA towards buying your first home. Key phrase there is first-time homebuyer.
And how do they define that?
Basically, you can't have owned a home in the last 2 years.
Gotcha. And that $10,000 still taxed?
Still taxed as regular income, yes. Just no 10% penalty on it.
Okay. And what if someone inherits a gold IRA? Are the rules different then?
Yes, inherited IRAs have their own set of rules. They can be quite complex. Generally, if you inherit one, you have to start taking distributions, called required minimum distributions, or RMDs.
RMDs, right?
Usually, those RMDs from an inherited IRA are not subject to the 10% early withdrawal penalty, even if you're under 59.5.
Oh, okay.
But again, the amounts withdrawn are still subject to income tax, because inherited IRA rules can get tricky depending on who inherited it and when. It's really best to consult a financial advisor on that one.
Definitely sounds wise. Okay, one more question I hear sometimes. Can you actually take out the physical gold itself, like have it delivered to you?
You absolutely can, yes. You can take a distribution in the form of the physical metal. But, and it's a big but, if you do that before age 59.5, it triggers the exact same penalties and taxes as taking cash.
Ah, so no loophole there.
Nope. You'll owe that 10% early withdrawal penalty, plus income tax on the fair market value of the gold at the time you take it out. No difference from a cash withdrawal in terms of the hit.
Right. This all really brings up a crucial point, doesn't it? How can you, the listener, avoid even needing to touch that gold IRA early? What are the proactive steps? How do you protect those savings from yourself in a moment of need?
This is such an important part of the conversation. It really comes down to strategic financial planning. That's your best defense.
Okay, like what specifically?
The absolute cornerstone, and Doug Young's research really highlights this, is having a solid emergency fund.
Right, the rainy day fund.
Exactly. Aiming for, say, 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses set aside in easily accessible savings.
So that's your buffer for those unexpected hits.
Precisely. It acts as that financial cushion. So when something comes up, a car repair, a job loss, you have cash ready, and you don't even think about rating your retirement accounts.
Building that foundation first. What else helps?
Good old-fashioned budgeting. Seriously. Just tracking your income, knowing where your money is going, it helps you spot areas where you can maybe cut back a little and save more consistently.
Discipline.
Yeah, it builds that discipline. And having that budget means you're more likely to live within your means and build up savings outside of your IRA. Beyond that, if you do face a shortfall, always explore loan alternatives before considering an IRA withdrawal.
Okay, like what kind of loans?
Well, maybe a personal loan from a bank or credit union. Or if you own a home, perhaps a home equity line of credit, a HELOC.
Right, HELOCs.
Often the interest rates on those can be significantly lower than the combined cost of penalties and taxes from an early IRA withdrawal. Even, borrowing from family, if that's an option, might be financially smarter in some cases.
Exploring all avenues first.
Absolutely. Don't jump straight to the retirement funds.
And if you're just feeling overwhelmed by it all, unsure what the best move is.
That's when talking to a professional is invaluable, a qualified financial advisor.
Yeah.
They can look at your entire financial picture, give you personalized advice. Maybe refinancing some debt could help, or consolidating loans to get a lower payment. Or perhaps they can help adjust your investment strategy overall. They could really help you see alternatives you might not have considered.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. What does this all mean for you listening? We've really dug into the complex costs, haven't we? That 10% penalty, the income tax hit, that sneaky capital gains tax on gold as a collectible. But we've also walked through those important exceptions, the lifelines, like the 59.5 rule, medical needs, buying a first home, understanding all these details, drawing on that solid research from Doug Young. It really does empower you, doesn't it? To make smarter decisions, protect those vital retirement savings in your Gold IRA.
It absolutely does. And, connecting it back to the bigger picture, Doug Young's final words in the bulletin really reinforce this idea. Investing in gold can be a really powerful way to protect and diversify your retirement portfolio over the long run.
Yeah.
And finding the right Gold IRA company, that can certainly help you navigate this complex market with more confidence.
Right. Which leads us perfectly into our final thought for you to chew on after this deep dive. Think about this. Knowing just how significant those long-term costs of early withdrawals are. How might actively planning for life's unexpected twists and turns right now actually reshape your entire financial future? Not just your retirement savings, but everything.
That's a great question to ponder.
Yeah. Really consider your own emergency preparedness, your long-term goals, in light of everything we've talked about today.